Welcome to the Nattersea podcast, where people talk about things. We trust that this wisdom will help you on life's journey.
So, welcome to the Nattersea podcast. Here we are again, and I'm Peter, and this is...
I'm Jonny.
And Jonny, we appear to have a guest.
We do. It's quite exciting this week.
Well, I know it's exciting. It's different.
Yeah.
That's not only the excitement.
Okay.
Excitement is a new Star Wars film or winning the lottery.
Sitting right here.
Oh, sorry. So, would you like to introduce our guest?
Yeah, it's an exciting guest. Maybe you could introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Debbie.
Right. Were you hoping they were going to respond? I mean, it is actually a recording.
No, I'm just leaving that there.
Okay.
Right.
So Debbie's going to...
help us.
Yeah.
Contribute.
Yeah, maybe
Hopefully.
like another perspective on things. That's often quite helpful.
Well, I mean, she's going to bring, I feel, a female perspective.
I wouldn't
Certainly.
count on that.
And a Northern England perspective.
Definitely that one.
Because Peter and I are, although we're different age, we, similar sort of backgrounds.
Oh,
certainly.
yeah. Yeah. We both come from Northern France,
Yeah.
don't we? Otherwise known as the South of England.
Yeah. Brexit.
So, Debbie, we've, just to explain the format,
Mm-hmm.
obviously you've been listening to these already, we talk about sayings that have originated or that are in common use.
Okay.
So, for example, the other day someone said they were going to vent their spleen. What do you think that means?
Debbie? Maybe?
Oh,
Debbie.
wow. You're coming to me first.
Well, yeah.
I really have no wisdom on this one, unfortunately.
Is-
Presumably the spleen is some sort of organ. We know that much, don't
yeah,
we?
confident of
Well,
that.
no. Are we confident of that? That the spleen is an organ?
Well, maybe not organ, but body part. Like,
What is it other than an organ? It's not.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it's
but-
not a bone.
a vein isn't an organ.
No, but it's not a conduit of any kind, is it?
Is a spleen an organ?
Presumably.
No. Well,
Email Nattersea.
no. I can say something about it.
Okay.
The spleen is an organ.
Okay.
I happen to know this.
Is it a major one?
It comes from the Greek word splena, actually.
Do you know this as an actual fact?
Well,
Just sorry for the benefit of the podcast. Peter's just produced a piece of paper that
No,
seems to have some
no.
research on it.
no, this bit of paper is it's got nothing to do with the spleen.
Oh, okay,
it
sorry.
does say the spleen
No,
for the first two words on it. So
look, just out of my own personal wisdom, I would say that the spleen is an organ found in virtually all vertebrates.
do you often refer to people as vertebrates?
I mean, if you wanted to know what it's similar in structure to, it's probably most similar in structure to the lymph node. If that.
That's such a relevant point of reference. I think we all know what a lymph node is like. So.
No, but obviously it acts primarily as a blood filter.
Okay.
But everyone knows this.
That does provide some wisdom on the venting of one's spleen.
I was going to
then.
say, does it need venting? Is that in your mind?
I mean, what's in my mind is that the spleen, the spleen plays a fairly important role in regard to the red blood cells.
Go on, pronounce that word that's on the paper there.
Also,
Go on.
no.
No, this paper has nothing to do with spleens, but it does have an interesting medical word on it.
What? Immune system.
No, this one.
That word there,
Yeah, go for that.
erythrocytes.
Yeah, wonderful job.
No, I mean, this is why people come to me for medical advice. I mean, I would say now this isn't anything I've researched, just from my experience as a human,
As
that
a
the spleen synthesises antibodies in its white pulp and removes antibody-coated bacteria.
Does it need venting though to bring it back to?
Well, now this brings me to another interesting point.
Okay.
The spleen was considered to be the seat of evil
Really?
inside a person.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inside a vertebrate.
So where people were angry and had very dark emotions,
Yeah.
like anger and rage and revenge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so if you vented your spleen,
Okay.
you were letting out all your bad bits.
Okay.
So were you enacting evil?
Yeah, you were allowing evil to
But
come out.
presumably science and physiology's moved on since then, and we're sort of medically aware that that's not true. Do you think maybe the phrase should have, like...
I've never heard that as defence in a court of law either. Your Honour, he didn't murder that person, he was simply venting his spleen.
I'm not sure it holds up.
Yeah, well, no, and if it were the case, then there'd be a lot of spleenage around. There'd be a lot of people removing their spleen to avoid criminal prosecutions.
So we are confident that, just to clarify, that the spleen is not the seat of all human evil in vertebrates.
Or indeed any other creatures. I mean, you will know, won't you, that the spleen usually weighs 150 grams.
That doesn't seem like that much evil for a whole person.
No, that's like... Does it depend on the person?
Yeah,
Some
it
people
can
are-
weigh...
Did Hitler have like a massive spleen?
It can weigh up to 200 grams.
Oh, it can? Okay.
Yeah. So people who are particularly evil have particularly large spleens.
So you might look at somebody and say, that chap, I bet he's got a 200 gram spleen.
Well, I would say...
That would be a good phrase to replace venting the spleen.
Okay.
Because we've moved on from there.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, I would say to all our listeners to think about the people that they work with and to wonder, maybe not wonder, to actually guesstimate fairly accurately who's got the largest spleen in the workplace.
Of the three of us, who do you think's got the largest spleen?
You.
I'm going to claim myself here.
Why?
I have it more under control, I think. But
No, but Johnny criticised my flags the other time.
That wasn't from a place of anger. That was from a place of love.
No, I'm telling you that was angry.
Was it?
You were angry with the world.
I mean,
do you feel he vented his spleen?
He vented his spleen on
flags?
those flags. Oh, he did. His spleen is all over them.
It is.
Wow.
No, that's okay. Well, maybe it's me then.
When you have vented your spleen, does it go down in mass?
Well, I don't know that, but I can tell you that it does. I mean, I would say it lies between the 9th and the 11th
You
rib.
would say that, would you? Always? Is that a medical fact, or is that just something you've just come to that conclusion?
I'm telling you now. No, I'm touching my body and I can feel my spleen is on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So I would encourage all our listeners right now, put your hand on the left-hand side. It's in between your 9th and 11th rib.
We all know where they are.
Look, I mean, Johnny's rather thin, but I've not seen my ribs for a good long time.
9th and 10th?
Yeah. So Johnny,
that
just for the
you'd have to
benefit
count.
of the listeners, Johnny is
Currently
at the moment
rubbing his own chest.
He's trying to feel for his spleen.
But I think I'm on your number 5 and I'm right near the bottom.
No, your ribs start high.
Yeah, I can't feel these.
This is not great radio. I'm telling you.
Sorry.
Now. It's not. So are we all happy with the venting the spleen?
Well, like I say, I think it's a bit redundant now that the science has moved on, but I can see why that became a thing. Why people did say that.
What about? I mean, a similar topic would be the topic of Ronald Reagan.
Very similar.
Okay.
Now, Johnny, we were having lunch earlier.
Yeah.
It's not something we do often.
No? It's lovely.
But today we did have lunch, and you were telling me a fascinating story about Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
And I think the listeners would want to hear it.
This might be a break from what you're used to with our podcast, because I think this is genuinely both true and interesting. So if you want to skip for the next minute and a half, feel free.
He's venting his spleen.
So the fact about Ronald Reagan is this. On an occasion when Ronald Reagan was out doing his presidential thing, visiting something or at an opening or something, his life was saved by one of his Secret Service bodyguard, sunglasses, earpiece, that sort of thing. And when they were fleeing the scene in the limousine, the Secret Service man, bodyguard, revealed to Ronald Reagan, this is absolutely true, that he joined the Secret Service, became a bodyguard.
Sorry. What's the difference between true and absolutely true?
Can we add absolutely true to discuss after?
Sorry. Okay.
So when they're in the limo, the Secret Service...
They're in the limo.
Yeah, like the president has a limo.
Does he?
Yeah, it's like a bulletproof limo.
It's got flags on.
That's absolutely
similar
true.
to your
Great flags, though.
Absolutely
great flags.
So they're in the limousine.
Yeah.
The bodyguard has just saved Ronald Reagan from what?
I believe it was a gunshot.
Right.
I believe he took the bullet, but not to the chest.
He took the bullet?
I think he took the bullet to like a shoulder or something. So
Whoa.
I mean, this is... Sorry,
he was shot in the shoulder.
At this point, this is conjecture. I can't remember exactly how we say
I just want to clarify
because this isn't absolutely true. No.
Because when you started this story, you did say that this was both true and interesting.
Yes.
And we strayed quite far away from the truth.
Sure, no, I know that.
No, I'd say if he's been shot in the shoulder, was it the left or the right shoulder?
I don't know.
Because if it's the left shoulder, then it's not far away from the spleen.
That's true.
Which, incidentally, is brownish in colour and is located in the left upper quadrant of the abdomen. So
okay.
Yeah.
So they're in the limo, and the Secret Service man reveals to Ronald Reagan.
What was his name?
I don't know.
Well, you've not really researched this, have you?
No, I haven't. I've just heard this fact, and I thought it was compelling.
Okay.
And he revealed to Ronald Reagan that he had only joined the Secret Service because he had seen Ronald Reagan in a film earlier in his life. If you don't know, Ronald Reagan, before president, was an actor. He had seen Ronald Reagan portray a member of the Secret Service, a bodyguard on film, and had been so inspired he'd signed up to join the Secret Service. So Ronald Reagan effectively indirectly saved his own life by inspiringly portraying a Secret Serviceman and inspiring this man to join the Secret Service. I think that's quite both absolutely true and absolutely interesting.
If it can be verified factually.
Obviously, feel free to drop us an email if you contest that fact.
Often these sort of stories turn out to be folklore. I'm not calling you a liar, Johnny. I would never do that.
Sure.
But you may be lying, is all I'm
I can
saying.
tell you I'm not lying. I believe it's true.
Well, then we stray into relative truth.
No.
That's not lying. If I believe it's true, I might be mistaken. Fair enough.
Can I just clarify? He took a bullet, right? So he's been shot.
And then he said,
he has died. So he's in the car going, well, while I'm here dying, let me just give you an anecdote.
Have you never seen films? That's what they do. They
If this
is supposed to be true.
Yeah, I know, but Ronald Reagan's a film star.
You said it was absolutely true. So he's been shot.
It was a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Possibly in the head. And he's going, no, while I'm here, Ronnie, I'm glad I've got you.
Are you willing to quote your source on this?
Yeah.
Are you
What's
willing
your
to
source?
quote your source?
I actually heard this on a different podcast.
This is tantamount to plagiarism.
Yeah.
Then.
Johnny, this is a podcast.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want people quoting this?
It's getting a bit meta. I know. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. So there he is. He's been shot.
Yeah.
And he's deciding in this moment, while he's losing blood in the back of the limo, to tell this anecdote.
Yeah.
We don't know if he told him in the heat of the moment. It may have been, as presidents often do when they have assassination attempts, he will have given him some sort of honour for having risked his life in that way. And maybe he heard the story in hindsight, hopefully not posthumously.
Okay, so I have just quickly Googled what happened.
Well, that's it. It must be true.
And the information is readily available on Wikipedia.
The secret, so it was Hinckley. You might have heard of Hinckley, who attempted to assassinate Ronald Reagan. It was Secret Service agent Tim McCarthy, who was severely wounded, and he went on to die fairly recently, actually, in the last couple of years, but he lived to...
Of his injuries? Or...
no, I don't think so. Okay. That's a very slow burn.
Yeah.
So that's what I found.
I still like that you ended that anecdote having told us about this person who had risked his life in order to save his president. Ronald Reagan got the credit for that.
No, well, just in my mind. Yeah. No, I because Secret Service, that's what they do, isn't it? It's sort of, it's not a thing for them, is it? It's what they're trained to do.
It should be a thing.
Wow.
I mean, I'll tell you something that is absolutely true. A study published in 2009, used mice to find out that the red pulp of the spleen forms a reservoir that contains over half of the body's monocytes.
Okay.
Yeah, do you reckon that says monocytes?
Yes, I think that's a relatively accurate pronunciation there.
So that's what I say. I mean, apparently, if your spleen is healthy, it's approximately 7 centimetres in length.
Well, there you go.
So, or possibly 14. So this.
So that relates quite well to that story that Johnny told, didn't it?
No, but I was just trying to make it more interesting.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting story, isn't it?
It's
It's
a
like
very
some
good
of those
story.
amazing coincidences.
So had he not seen the film,
yeah,
he would not have become a Secret Service man. You
No.
could argue that somebody else would have done
yeah.
it. Don't want to, I don't know.
Yes, but that's a less romantic story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just became a Secret Service man because I felt like it is not the same as you inspired me.
Interestingly, on the inspiration from films thing, the chap who fired the bullet, Hinckley, he was inspired by watching the film Taxi Driver from '76, and he wanted to impress Jodie Foster, who was in that film, and he thought this would do it.
Are you
So
reading
he was-
this? Are you reading this?
No, this is just stuff I know.
really,
Like,
the assassination attempt itself is Martin Scorsese's fault.
in a manner of speaking, but I
Yeah.
think it's interesting that both the villain and the hero of the piece were inspired by films.
If this has taught us anything, it's that the media has more of an influence on society than we think it does. And actually, when people are campaigning for films that they feel will be detrimental to their children, maybe they're right.
Well, I would say if it's taught us anything, it's taught us that Johnny shouldn't be allowed to look at Google.
Or print anything out.
Yeah, or print anything out.
Yeah.
Is Ronald Reagan still alive?
I
He's
don't
not.
know.
He's not.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Are you sure?
I'm certain of that. There was a funeral.
Oh well,
For him.
if there was a
For him,
were you
yeah,
there?
it was for him. I believe he suffered from like a long-term illness towards the end of his life.
Actually,
5th of June, 2004.
No, I don't think this podcast should be about us.
He
just
was 93
Googling.
when he died. That's a good
interestingly, The Undertaker, for when he died, had been inspired by a film where he portrayed a corpse. And he thought, I want to be a...
Yeah.
That
is
a doctor. Similarly, the guy that ran the funeral, he saw Leonard Rossiter in Oliver play Mr. Sotheby, who ran a funerary parlour.
There you go.
So it all...
Interestingly, Nancy Reagan, the wife of Ronald Reagan, died this year, aged 94 English years old. Well, she was American, so...
Yeah.
American years.
Okay.
English years?
Yes.
Dear.
They were married from 1952 to his death in 2004.
Well, very good.
That's a very long marriage, isn't it?
So I think we've not really dealt with many sayings this time. We've just the one, but...
No, but I feel we've vented our spleens.
I feel like my spleen has been vented.
And I think we've learned quite a bit about American history.
If
you? I mean, you're into IT.
Sure.
Did you watch a film about? Forgive me, a geek.
Oh
wow. Okay.
No, I mean, did you? Maybe someone new didn't. You know that character that
couldn't deal with people.
Hasn't really got a girlfriend.
Terrible
You know what I'm
social
saying?
skills.
Yeah.
Hasn't really got a girlfriend, but knows how to break in and do the nuclear codes. No love life as such.
Those are mutually exclusive.
But nuclear war.
Okay.
I mean,
I've never seen. I mean, that sounds like a great film, but I've not.
Were you inspired?
I've not seen it. No.
I mean, what about something a bit more exciting, like 24, Jack Bauer, and they're always, aren't they, on the old computers and patching people in.
Yeah,
no, never been inspired by that?
I was inspired just by patch me through and send it to my screen, that sort of thing. Like I sort of thought, well, one day I'd like to be able to patch someone through.
And do you do that now, Johnny?
I do. I don't use that word. Maybe I should.
Well, you should.
I might say I'll put them through.
Well, how do you patch someone through? What does that mean?
I believe it's the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you ever say, send it to my screen?
I say send it to me. See, I'm just a whisper away on both counts from
Yeah, he's nearly there.
nearly there.
He's nearly living
So
in
you're
a science
nearly-
fiction world.
Nearly Jack Bauer is what we've
Almost.
discovered.
Just for the benefit of those listening, I would like to point out that Jonny is not nearly Jack Bauer, is he? Let's face it. Anyway, thanks for listening to this episode. I've been Peter.
I've been Jonny.
And I've been Debbie.
And we'll speak again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.